toe on your shoulder already.
I have a beginner's mind.
Can you turn your head to the left? That pressure's okay?
Mm-hmm.
So easy. And remember, ladies, the end of January, beginning of February, right here at the Black Swan Donation Center in lovely South Austin, Texas, Barefoot Shiatsu, lowering the bar.
That was very good.
2020. The dates are written on that piece of paper.
Okay, 2020 just sounds wrong.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just lowering the bar, but.
Lowering the bar. You gotta keep them expectations low if you want a happy life. That's all I'm saying. That makes for a happy life. You become more appreciative of everything then. Okay, so
Round of years.
a little neck shiatsu. So when we were tracing the yin and yang meridians of the arm, you get a little appreciation of how the neck is involved in the meridian location. So of the yang meridians of the arm, we just did large intestine, triple warmer, and small intestine. They're all passing through the neck, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing to know. So what we're going to do is do some general compression and loosening of the shoulders. And then we'll do a little bit more specific acupressure point stimulation. So nice alternating compression. And I'm stabilizing myself with my hands. And also, I have a slight bend in my knee when I approach, so that the compression comes from you straightening your leg. So if you're too far away, you're not going to have enough ability to compress. So I'm doing, right? And I notice that the further out I get, the more lateral flexion. So you open up here, but in the more medial, the pressure goes straighter down the body. See how it affects your abdomen a little bit more. So just some nice things to think about. That's why we go back and forth, to loosen that whole upper quadrant. And then just some sustained compression on one side. But since we're trying to define a stretch, even though you're pressing on here, just keep this one stabilized, because it makes for a more pronounced stretch in the neck. But that other shoulder isn't riding up. And this is a sustained stretch. And the for nice contact, the arch of my foot is right on the flat acromion shelf of the shoulder. And then you just straighten that leg in a sustained stretch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you release, and then you're going to turn your foot so that the heel comes right in the soft tissue here. And now you're addressing that gallbladder 21 point on the top of the shoulder. My pressure's okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, because of the space, you want to turn your foot out so that you can use the heel. I'll do it on the other side too. And then you're just going to come right into that point. And that's an awesome way to work that damn point. Especially after you're doing alternating compression and loosening the shoulder a little bit. That's really nice. Right. And then you can straighten your foot, and now the heel is going to go a little bit more medial and a little deeper to try to get the triple warmer point off the superior angle of the scapula. You okay there? So you can get those 2 points pretty clearly from up here. And you could, after general loosening, some nice clear heel pressure. And then I'm just going to go back, let that side relax a little bit, and do the same on this side. So this is stabilizing pressure. This is compressing down to loosen that side. And then I'm going to turn my foot out so that the heel comes right in this soft tissue area here about halfway between the acromion process and the base of the neck. So it's up a little bit so you can get right into that soft tissue. That pressure's okay?
Yeah.
See, my foot's in a like relatively neutral position. And you can turn here and get it a little bit more directly. Because it's usually so tight, I do the first approach first just to loosen it a little bit. So this is really nice for that gallbladder 21 point. And then if you let your foot straighten and let the heel rest on the mat and just come in a little bit more medial and then sink in, you'll come at the attachment of levator. So that's a nice way of working the attachment of the muscle and then also those points. Okay, cool. So coming out, and I'm going to scoot a little bit closer. Roll the pillow. And I'm going to do a little opening now of the posterior neck. So I'm going to use my feet just to curl lightly over the heads of the humerus so I stabilize the scapulas to the mat. And I'm going to reach in between my legs and cup the back of Cecily's head as I motion her chin towards her chest to stretch out posterior cervicals. And I'm resting my arms on my legs so I have some brace. Is that okay, Cecily? I'm just holding. And then I'm going to let the head come down, and I'm going to take the foot off of this side, and I'm going to laterally flex the head this way for a nice stretch. Okay, and then easy back, and same on other side. So this one off, this stabilizing, and then just a lateral flexion. So not rotation so much because this is rotation, right? But lateral flexion is the nose still pointing straight up. So you are really loosening side of the neck to a point of resistance. Right. And if you get tired of using your hand in this thing, you can stretch this way. So you're using your foot to stabilize that stretch. Okay, Seth? Not too much?
Sometimes.
Come on, you don't have to suffer for our art. Is it okay?
Yeah, it's just those are all. I feel the fascia really intently.
So that's a nice stabilizing stretch that way. You can do it with your hands too, but right. So another thing is nice to do is we're going to do a little traction of with the scarf, cervical scarf, and then we're going to do the face points. Okay, and we'll just keep it at that routine and see take that in. That's really yummy. This is also too. Could you hand me that scarf, please?
Oh, there.
This is I like doing this.
I like you doing that.
Sorry.
Thank you. You know the it's interesting starting to work with my feet so much. What you discover, like these little things, and also like hooking here, just letting this be a nice bridge so you can do head work. Also, what I was doing before is using the dorsal surface of my foot to support the natural curve of the neck, and then just give it a little lift to stretch it out. And if you turn your foot this way a little bit, the occipital ridge goes right on there and loosens all the sub-occipital muscles, or some of them, probably not all of them. And then you can just add a little. That pressure, not too much,
No, it's good.
right? So that's a nice thing. And then we're going to use the scarf. Now, this scarf I stole from Zen Shiatsu Chicago where I teach, and this is the calligraphy they got made. I'm not quite certain what it means, but when I turned it over,
Looks like a swan.
it reminds me of the swan.
Mm.
So that's why I took it.
Okay.
It's mine.
Black swan.
So yeah, we're gonna put this under here. Oh yeah. I'm just gonna ask you to lift your head just a little bit. See if we can hook it underneath there. And just hold it in the middle. Let's try something sensitive like this. I'm just gonna lift a little bit. See, okay?
Great.
So that's really nice supported. And the reason you don't have to go back as much is because you're stabilizing the shoulders,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And this pull is cradling the back of the head. And you want to pull from the center, not to the side or up here. And also too, because we have that curve in our neck, I lift up just a hair and then back.
Okay.
And then I'm just resting here and just holding. So nice.
Yeah, looks nice. I'm excited.
And then when you release slow. And then would you come over this way?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll end with the points. Just
Yeah.
the 4 points for the face. So because of the angle that we have to come in and because of sometimes the inconvenience of having to bend down like this, we'll use our knees as a support for the head. So you can bring the knees up and make contact with the shoulders. And then you can just let the face be right there. And we're going to do a few points. And the first point is a point on the bladder meridian. So you're going to take your index fingers and press up into the upper orbit, and then move out about a finger width, and you'll feel a little notch. And you apply a light pressure up into the orbit. It's bladder 2. Bright eyes.
Not now.
You all got that one? So then from here, you're just going to come straight down up underneath the zygomatic arch, and you're going to feel for a little indentation. And the pressure is up. So you're way too lateral.
Oh.
So you look for the
It's like a
that was a good. That was a good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Tears.
So it's like it's almost straight down. You might have to smidge out a little bit to the lateral, but it's an indentation just like this one up here. All right? Can you smile? Just smiling. So from here, right? And then from here, we're going to do the last point of the large intestine meridian, large intestine 20, welcome fragrance, which is the direction is that it's on the side of the nose at the widest portion of the nostril, and you're going to come in at a slight 45-degree angle so you can appreciate the concavity where the subo is. Okay, so
Where you going?
can you get a picture of those ladies on the ladies? Thank you.
Lovely lady.
And then from here, we're going to come out and we're going to do this point in the jaw, which helps release some of the tension in the masseter. And this is a point on the stomach meridian. This is the part where after I see the food and I put the food in my mouth and then I chew the food. This is the chew food part, the masseter. But to find the point, and it's stomach 6, you let your fingers come and palpate the underside of the mandible. And then as it comes back, it comes to a point before it ascends up the ramus. So you're going to stay right underneath that point, and you want to come straight up from that point about a finger width, and you'll feel a little indentation in the musculature. And you want to press in and see if I'm on that point at all. One side or not the other?
Yeah, this side, yes. Yeah.
and the pressure is like towards the midline. You feel that. It's almost like a little dull toothache kind of thing. So a lot of times, people think, oh, my teeth, but sometimes it's, your neck and your masseter and your temporalis that are just clenching down on you. So here, and then we're just going to come straight up and do the first point of the gallbladder meridian at the end of the canthus. And again, it's with a soft hand you can appreciate the concavity of where the point is. And then just some nice circles. Circles, circles, feel so good. Feels so good. Yeah. So fast down here, so good. And then you want to just come thumb over thumb, just working the center line. There's some deliciousness to be had up here on the top of the head. One of the fan favorites is the governing vessel 20, which is the 10,000 lotus petal center of your head. So if you drew a line from the nose over the top of the head and from the highest point of the ears and where they intersect, that's governing vessel 20, crown chakra point. And if you're sensitive enough, you can feel the little concavity there. And it's just pressure, slight pressure towards their feet. Some people are so good up in there, you don't even have to get that close to the top of their head. So I approach that point with a little distance just to see where they're at, because sometimes there's like some buzzing up there. I was like, but she has a nice inviting little crevasse in the top of her head. So, okay, sweet. And then coming out, easy, right? So support, and then just open your legs slowly enough. So this is at the end of this thing. It's a nice hara exercise to keep control, but still, allow yourself to let go a little bit, so the head just sort of moves down easy. And the best way of doing this is just focus on your breath and just keep a little tension on it. Don't think about nothing else other than the goodness that you all just shared. So nice and easy down.